Hi everyone, thank you for being here today. I'm excited to dive into this topic that's near and dear to many of us, designers in Agile, how to conduct primary research and not that trend. So, as designers, we often find ourselves wrestling with the challenges of working in an Agile environment. One aspect that tends to get sidelined mainly is primary research. So, we're going to talk about why is primary research in Agile complicated, what are the challenges in Agile research, the strategies for primary research in Agile that you can apply today, the tools and techniques that you can also apply, how to empathize, make your work visible, and evangelize about your work. And I'll try to persuade you into embracing perfection and take action in an ethical way, because how Loranger said, it doesn't matter how many products we release, if they are junk, we're simply shipping a lot more of it. So primary research in Agile is an impossible feat, but it's well worth it. So why is primary research in Agile complicated? First of all, Agile started as a manifesto back in 2001 in response of the time-consuming, inefficient waterfall model, which was the most popular back in the 80s and 90s. That was based on a sequential process flowing through each phase of the development process, like scope definition, then to design, then to development, but it didn't go the other way. So where's design in Agile, right? Actually, the Agile Manifesto doesn't discuss design in a user experience way. Either research. It was more like customer collaboration than user experience. So, what are the challenges we face today? Well, right now we face ourselves with entering a project and finding a roadmap already defined, but only with the business vision. So these roadmaps or products are planned, thinking, or developing from inside, right? The company, the stakeholders, whatever, to the market outside. So it's an inside-out approach. And of course, many of us as design thinkers, human-centered design, users, all of these methodology, we think about user research as a big phase at the beginning of a project, and the scope is the entire project or the entire product. So this perception of research make it really difficult to fit into a single sprint cycle. So we became the enemies of the product team because, of course, we could be delayed in the development process. So the time and the support of the team, the product team is really short. So, of course, this is mainly for primary research because secondary research tends to be cheaper and quicker because you are not getting the data. But of course, primary research is important because by having the user's needs and problems and asking what you want to know, a team can focus on developing outside in a way, you are taking the user's problems and needs from outside and solving them inside. And that way, a happy user is engaged in buying and you are not wasting time developing a product and sending it to the market and finding out that you built the wrong thing, right? So, what can we do for primary research in Agile? First of all, you have to know teamwork is the name of the game. Teamwork is huge in an Agile environment, and it's huge if you want to do primary research in an Agile environment. So your entire team holds valuable insights. Trust me, ask them. They know a lot. They can come up with great solutions, And of course, there are like techniques like design studios where you can do workshops with your team and design with them, and I don't know, it's really crucial, especially when you face yourself with analysis paralysis or the white page challenge, right? Second, avoid working siloed. Sometimes designers, we tend to like cluster ourselves in our work and just show the final product. But the thing is that we make a lot of design decisions based on real data, on important data, and important information from research or from other parts. But when you're showing just the final research results, they are not seeing your process. So it's probably that they will argue, they will, not take it seriously. So that's important to showcase your work. You have to participate in the Agile rituals, especially the reviews. I've seen myself not participating in the reviews, and then all the stakeholders could see what's the developed feature or product. But your work, your decisions, every design decisions and information is important to be showcased. Then keep close to the product team. We are not enemies, as you may think. It's important to build a strong relationship with them. You can help them, make them know you can help them, and they can help you too. I mean, you're both trying to build the best product available, right? Trust me, I've been in situations where I killed like a couple of flows because they were not useful for the user, but then I used that free time to build something that really was, and we had like a really nice relationship, like a really nice coexistence with the product team, and we were just friends, honestly. And then obviously break down research tasks to fit into sprints. So this is a change in the mindset, because as I said before, in design thinking, there's like this huge phase, this discover phase, empathize phase, where you do the entire research. You have to stop thinking like that. You have to, the same way the product team is breaking down the entire development of the product, you can do that too. Of course, you need to keep the zoom out mindset, like the vision of the entire product, but you can divide it into flows, into sections, into areas, and just research each area. And trust me, it is more feasible into an agile sprint cycle than the entire empathize phase. So what tools and techniques you can use? First of all, automatization is key. Efficiency is super important. Try to be observant of your processes and find spots that you can automatize that are just like admin work to make your work quicker. Something like that, templates for the win. Always keep your templates of research plans, scripts, recruitment emails, keep them at hand. You might spend a little time making them, and then you can reuse them and take us off a lot of work. And ask small questions. Of course, as I said before, break down the research efforts. You don't have to research the entire product at once. Then try to gather the existing data. There might be data out there you are not aware of. So try to analyze your company or your organization and find out what those touch points with the user might be, and use it for your design decisions. Like, for example, customer assistance or customer attention efforts. They are a main touch point, maybe even social media. social media managers, community managers, they are having this relationship constant with the user, and they might have like really important information for you. So try to reach out, make a relationship, and then you can find out how you can get that data constantly. Then is to ask for the data. Maybe you're working with business analysts, data analysts, and they have a lot of information about your user. So you don't have to be an expert to be talking with them. You can just ask them in a human way, a Christian way, right? And they could answer your questions. You can get that information from the data without getting the raw data, like heavy data, because there's a lot of statistics behind it, and you don't have to be an expert to get those answers. So you can ask something like, is there in this specific flow, is there a problematic screen where users are not finishing the tasks? Could we look up more into this section? What is the user doing here, or is there something weird happening here? Try to be specific, but talk like a human, because they will answer you like a human and you can get that data. Okay, tools. There's this approach to user research called continuous discovery, where in Agile teams, the research is conducted in small, frequent activities throughout the product development. And basically, you prefer customer feedback instead of one-time research, as I said before. The thing about this continuous discovery is that the entire team commits to research. It's like really strict. There's this famous Forum Friday, where companies commit to every Friday, have 4 users, interviewing, sending surveys, I don't know, but you commit to 4 participants, and what changes is what methods are you using with those participants. So, for example, 1 week you're doing interviews about a feature you might build, and then a couple of weeks later you are testing, doing usability testings, and then you go and all you do is just keep asking to the users small things, manageable things. And that way you can automatize even further, because all you have to do is automatize the entire recruitment process, because it's going to be there every single Friday, and you can do it once a week, once a couple of weeks, or once a month, but it should not be less than once a month. And then it's a collaborative research, because the entire team is involved in those research efforts. Then you have Lean UX research, which emphasizes cross-functional collaboration, iterative design, and rapid validation of ideas through continuous user feedback. Similar to continuous discovery, the thing is that you are really focusing on delivering value with the less work possible, minimizing the unnecessary work. So it's a really quick and dry, a dirty approach. You need to deliver results fast, so you are not as meticulous with reports and documentation. You try to report raw data. You also use quick methods of research, like I'm not a huge fan of gorilla testing, but you can do quick usability testing, surveys, quick interviews, something like that can put the product into the user's hands and get valuable feedback. And this is also a collaborative research approach. However, the difference is that the thing is more about avoiding bottlenecks. For having a single UX design resource, the entire team needs to be at hand with research. So the thing is to avoid just having one person knowing everything, right? Now, empathize, make it visible, and evangelize. It's important to build an empathic team. It's important for a designer to empathize with the user, but you also need, it's critical for your entire team to be empathizing with the user as well, because you're not the only one that's making decisions about the product, and if you're in the same page about what the user wants and needs, it's probably that you won't have like sidebacks and stuff that happens in development, and everyone is going to be in the same page basically. Results everywhere. You can't convince if you don't show. You have to make your results visible for everyone, the artifacts, all of your work. As I said before, we're going to talk a little bit about that. And then keep metrics at hand. Metrics become your allies because it's the way you can quantify the impact of your research and design effort. So share the metrics, show real value. Well, we're going to talk about some metrics. So how can you make your research visible? A way to bridge the gap between your insights and your team is by literally showing, making it visible. Print out that user journey, paste it to the wall, print your user personas, make a room about your user personas. This is a technique called the user personas room, and it has all about it. And then there's like these little user persona prints you can find in the industry, and they have like this little tagline that says a lot about their attitude about your product. Of course, these are examples of a non-remote work setting, but in a remote work setting, you could like do newsletter, you can make postings in the communication software your company uses, and there's a lot of ways you can make them visible. Now, keep your metrics at hand. I'm going to talk about, this is just like a little gift about some metrics you can expect by doing proper user research and applying proper UX design, because UX design without research is not UX. So while making valid personas and designing with valid personas, you avoid rework from from stakeholders changing their minds. For example, decisions, you are making the same decisions with users' problems and needs, and it's difficult to change that because of a whim. So those are arguable decisions, and you can expect 4 times the return of investment if you apply this. So, for example, McAfee reports savings in support costs after integrating usability testings into its protection pilot software, and they saved up to 90% of the support costs. Because, of course, if you build a usable product where people is not going to be calling you, asking you how to use it, then if you spend 10% in UX design, you can gain up to 83 conversions lift. The willingness to purchase can go up to 14.4%, 60% intention to return, and 33 to 50% reduction in development cycles by sensitivity in user experience. It means like the entire company is really sensitive to user experience, and you can expect the decreases in the dev cycle times. So, embrace imperfection and take action. Let's see if I can persuade you. So, as designers, sometimes we can find ourselves with these challenges like the blank page challenge or the analysis paralysis, because we're really trying to make our best effort into the best product. So, but with research, I want you to think that you have questions and you need answers. So there's no really perfect time to make research. There's no perfect research. You just go and ask. Maybe you ask and maybe you should have make a question different. I don't know, but there is no perfect research, so just go ahead and do it and ask people. Also, never compromise on sharing personal or sensitive information. Your participants are trusting you. By giving you information, you need to protect them as well. And bias is inherent, especially when you're making small research efforts. It's important to acknowledge all the bias that you may encounter, so you can make them the best informed decisions, right? So what are the most common methodology mistakes according to an group? Asking the wrong people. Your stakeholders and colleagues are not your users. This is super important because if you're building a product for people that struggles with technology and you ask your development friend, they're going to do it. You're not testing anything because he can already use technology. Your user don't. Your user has very different problems and visions around the world and mindsets than your colleagues and stakeholders that are too involved in the process. So you need to get out of there and you need to get different people, because the results are not going to be the same. You might do a usability testing with friends and family, but you have to know that they are not your user. So you are not testing your hypothesis, you are not testing if you're solving the user's problem or if the user is going to want this. You're just testing that it's usable, that a human can use it. That's it. Leading the witness. Sometimes if you're starting to do user research and you don't have a lot of experience, you may be making leading questions. It means that you are using your confirmation bias by writing these questions and making the user say what you want them to say. So you have to keep your perspective really unbiased and try to be really aware of that situation. So you ask yourself twice if those questions are okay, if they are not leading, if you are not like, leading the witness, as I said. So, and then use the wrong research methods, because the methods you choose depends of the questions you have and the development process. For example, if you want to test interaction and you use a survey, you are not going to get the data you need, because a survey is an opinion-based method, and in interaction you need to see how the user is doing with, like, literally. Because if you ask people, maybe people is nice and they say, no, it was great, but they clicked in every wrong place. and they took a long time to finish it, and you didn't measure that. So you need to, even if you're going to use like two methods, know them well, know what kind of data they are going to give you, and try to design that process the best way you can. So in conclusion, teamwork and collaboration first. This is first in Agile, is first everywhere. Build relationships with your team is really important because you are in this together. Use efficient tools and techniques so you can automatize and make research as fast as you can with quality. Empathy and visibility are key. You need to showcase your work, make your entire team empathize with your work, and evangelize with impact. Keep your metrics at hand and showcase your work. So, make ethical and informed decisions, super important, and embrace imperfection and start now. Basically, primary research in Agile isn't impossible. It's a journey that's well worth the effort. Remember, UX without research is not UX. So, thank you.